Alrighty, crew. So this is part 2 of our Nasserine Secret School. Let me close my window to help with the brightness. There we go. Okay, so you should have listened to the story yesterday in your Google Classroom assignment. I wanted to read, there's an author's note at the beginning of the story that was not covered. Okay, this gives us a little bit more background information about what was happening in Afghanistan during the time that Nasserine Secret School took place. Author's note: the Global Fund for Children, a nonprofit organization committed to helping children around the world, contacted me about basing a book on a true story from one of the groups that they support. I was immediately drawn to an organization in Afghanistan that founded and supported secret schools for girls during the 1996 to the 2001 reign of the Taliban. The founder of these schools, who requested anonymity, shared the story of Nasreen and her grandmother with me. Nasreen's name has been changed. Before the Taliban seized control of Afghanistan, so the Taliban is the group of soldiers that came in to take over this country. So before they came in, 70% of school teachers were women, 40% of doctors were women, and 50% of students in Kabul University were women. Now, after the Taliban seized control of Afghanistan's, girls were not allowed to attend school or university. Women were not allowed to work outside the home. Women were not allowed to leave home without a male relative as chaperone. And the women were forced to wear a burqa that covers their entire head and body with only a small opening for their eyes. There was no singing or dancing or kite flying. Art and culture in the birthplace of the immortal poet Rumi was banished. The colossal of Bamiyan Buddhas carved into the side of the mountains were destroyed. Years of isolations and fear had begun. But there was also bravery from the citizens who defied the Taliban in many ways, including supporting the secret school for girls. Even now, after the fall of the Taliban in Afghanistan in 2001, danger remains. Still, schools are bombed, set on fire, and closed down. There are still death threats to teachers, and girls are still attacked or threatened if they go to school. And still, the girls, their families, and their teachers defy the tyranny by keeping the schools open. Their courage has never wavered. So you'll see that this is a real event that has happened. It's important that we don't take our going to school for granted. Even right now, if we are doing our distance learning, we're still very lucky that we have this chance to go to school. Alrighty, so now go ahead and find your bird book. Today we are going to be working on page 13. And so up at the top, it says it's reading for gist and recounting the story for Nasserine Secret School. So please go ahead and write today's date. Today is November 4. Okay. This time they did not write the text in for us. So I'm going to switch over to probably my marker because then you can see it better. In the blue box, it says overcoming challenges in, so we're going to write Nasserine Secret School. There we go. Okay. So Nasrine's Secret School. And remember, because this is a video, anytime if I'm going too fast, you can also pause the video so that way you guys can catch up on your writing your notes too. The author of the story is Jeanette, so G-J-E-A-N-E-T-T Winter. Alrighty. So now we want to go on. Oops, why is this blurry? There we go, that's better. Okay, so who was our main character in our story? Perfect. If you said Nasserine, you are correct. If you do not know, you might need to go back and play yesterday's video so that way you know what the story is about. Alrighty, the setting is in Herat, Afghanistan. Excellent. And do you remember what Nasserine wanted in the story? You're right. She did want to go to school, but what did she want more? Do you remember why she was sad? Yeah, you're right. because her mother and father were gone. So she wanted her mother, her mom, and dad to come back. So remember, that was the reason why she had stopped talking. So even though she stayed with her grandmother, when her dad was taken away, and then her mom went out to go find her husband. And so Nasreen was left with grandma, and she was really sad. So let's go to the but. What was the challenge? We had just talked about it. Perfect. Because her mom and dad were taken away. So she was very sad and lonely. So she was very sad and lonely. Okay, so what was the solution? Perfect. You're right. If you talked about the secret school, you are absolutely correct. So her grandmother heard of a secret school and took her there. Oops. Perfect. Okay, at the very bottom, we want to learn about what was the message, lesson, or the moral in the story. What is one idea the author wants you to take away from the story? Why do you think the author wrote this story? Perfect. If you said that some people will take dangerous risk to go to school because learning is very important to them, you're correct. Remember how dangerous it was for Nasreen to go to the secret school? They had to hide from the soldiers, and even when the soldiers, they had to make sure they hide their books. So we're going to write some people will take dangerous risk to go to school because learning is very important to them. Great. Alrighty, crew, so that's the end of this lesson. So make sure you guys hang on to your bird book and finish up the notes with me. If you ever see that there's an assignment on Seesaw that's asking you to take a picture of this, then you'll know what we are referring to. Great job today, crew. See you later.